इस बटन से इससे जूम इन करते हैं। ठीक है, इससे जूम आउट करते हैं, साइड घुमाते हैं तो राइट एंड लेफ्ट।
फोन उठा रही वो। अच्छा चलो सामने
Yogesh Atal and Dr. I. This occasion as we host the first All India IIS debate. The topic of the debate is social networking sites who are here to help us make the event a memorable one. We feel privileged to have in our midst.
And now friends, let me introduce you to the judges. Our first judge is Shri Pramod Kumar Tiwari, an IPS, the Police Medal for Meritorious Services in 1989 and the President's Police Medal for Distinguished Services in 2011. We welcome you, sir. Our second judge is Department of English at Jodhpur University and then visiting professor at Department. Professor Sharma was himself an outstanding debater in his student days. We welcome you, sir. College Ajmer, Shri Jagdeep Singh has had a varied career as a teacher, journalist. We welcome you, sir.
I now request Dr. Ashok Gupta. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Chairperson, Professor Atal, Vice Chancellor of the University, Dr. Gupta, Judges, Professor Sharma, Shri Tiwari, Shri Singh, my colleagues at the University, members of the participating team, and young friends. I have great pleasure in extending warm greetings and welcome to you all to the first All India ISU English debate. I would like to seek your indulgence to say a few words about ourselves, our university. In 1990, we began as a school and we delivered the promises that we made, and that gave us encouragement to take a higher step, and we thought of a college, International College for Girls in 1995. Made a name for ourselves, and that gave us courage to think of becoming an autonomous institution, which we did in 2007. We did good work, and that gave us the strength to think of ourselves at a slightly higher status. We applied for the university status, and we were granted that status in 2009, and we started functioning as a university, deemed university, in 2010. We did good work, and in recognition of that, the committee appointed by the Ministry of Human Resource and Development put us in among 38 deemed universities placed under Category 1. We are a cosmopolitan university in our character. Our campus is always vibrant with activities, and this is just one of them. Coming back to the debate, I'm glad to say that for this debate we have speakers not only from major institutions in Jaipur, but also from different parts of the country. The list that I have says we have teams apart from Jaipur, Delhi, Rohtak, Faridabad, Pantnagar, Varanasi, Gwalior, Pune.
With the rules of the debate, each participant will be allowed to speak for 4 minutes plus 1 minute for concluding. There should be no interjections. Marks will be awarded on the basis of content presentation, which includes expression, fluency, confidence, language and grammar, and rebuttal. A warning bell will be sounded at 4 minutes and another bell at 5 minutes. Debate points made beyond 5 minutes will not be taken into consideration. I would like to wish the very best to all the participants.
We now commence with the debate, and I call upon participant F1.
Did you hear that, friends? Did you hear that, friends? Bollywood has already expressed this long back what I've come here to say today. But before I say that, I would like you to answer a few of my questions very honestly. Don't you feel that hint of a smile on your face when there is a like on your picture, be it by anybody? And don't you see that smile? And don't you see that smile turning into a full-blown grin when there is a comment on that picture? The comment being a really very sweet one.
Doesn't your self-confidence rocket to another level altogether? Well, I'm sure it does. Good morning, everyone. We've gathered here today to discuss are social networking sites a new gateway to happiness and harmony? Well, what baffles me is, do we really need a discussion on this? Because I see all good around me, don't you? I see it in the increasing literacy rates, which according to the National Literacy Trust are directly correlated to children's engagement with social media. I see it in the cultural convergence which the entire world is experiencing today. But most of all, I see it in the smile on my mother's face when she's busy messaging her friends on Facebook whom she has found after 27 long years. Yes, some things certainly make you happy. Let me cite another example. Just an hour before coming here, I updated my Facebook status regarding my participation in this debate. And in not less than an hour, more than 20 of my far-off, yet close friends wished me luck. Of course, it did boost up my confidence. In fact, I like their effort of sparing a minute on me. The bottom line is, it did make me feel happy. So the crux, my friends, is that we human beings have been emotionally carved in this society in such a manner that all we crave for are two A's, affection and attention. I repeat, affection and attention, and whether my opponents accept it or not, these social networking sites provide us a great deal of both. So for us, the attention-seeking species, our achievements and our happiness would mean very little unless we've seen them reflected in other people's eyes. So you see, it's more of psychology and sociology than technology. Social networking isn't about websites, it's about experiences. Be it experiencing the joy of seeing the pictures of a newborn niece or nephew almost instantly, or the thrill of uncovering some political secret through WikiLeaks, sting operations, etc. This social revolution of internet, broadband and live streaming provides you both and everything in between. Freedom of speech, diversity of interaction, and the niche. Did you know that during the 2009 presidential elections of Iran, the government had clamped down on information exchange, and it was then when YouTube, Facebook, Twitter and Flickr served as the primary medium of information exchange for this conflicted nation. Let's talk about something recent. What about the use of social networking in the March 11 catastrophic tsunami and earthquake of Japan? I would like to tell you that after an earthquake hit Japan, Twitter was experiencing 1,200 posts posted from all around the world regarding prayers and reliefs. And it was once again that these social networking tools proved their ability to unify us as human beings and brought out what is most altruistic and empathetic in our natures. And my opponents will still argue that these sites aren't a gateway for harmony. Well, in that case, let's take a larger overview. While our social interactions have historically been constrained geographically, the networking has turned communication into a global phenomenon. I repeat, a global phenomenon. Now, communication amongst the professionals with various dialects, it's easier, it's faster. So where at one place social media is catalytic in developing friendships and professional alliances, in enhancing business-to-business marketing all across the world, it is very much laying the bricks of harmony amongst the people, the corporate houses, the states, and the nation at large. This reminds me of the latest news about this iconic man, Satya Nadella, who was pretty much a common man till yesterday, but today, millions of Indians and Americans, including me, are liking his Facebook page, are posting tweets about him as a gesture of their appreciation. Appreciation for this extraordinary Indian mind on becoming the CEO of world's #1 multinational corporation, Microsoft. Isn't that harmony? Well, some of my opponents still do not seem convinced, and they might point out narcissism or certain mishaps for which they will blame this wonderful technology of social networking. Well, I'd like to tell them that these flaws are with the doer, the user, their extent and contours of using this technology, and not the technology itself. And if my opponents are only seeing the cons, then tell me why more than 40% of people have their accounts on at least one of these social networking sites. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to sum up by urging you to maintain pace with time. Time that states if you aren't networking, you're probably not working. Because earlier man was a social animal, but today he's a social networking animal. Ladies and gentlemen, social media, it sparks a revolution that we the people have a voice, and through the democratization of ideas and content, we can once again unify around common passions, inspire and ignite change. Social media is definitely a new harmony. Thank you.
I now call upon a new term, sites, was added to it. And today here I, Ragini Sharma from MRDC, stand welcoming the judges and the intellectual assembly present before me and putting forth why I do not believe that social networking sites are the new gateway to happiness and harmony. Going back in time, we see that even small occasions like tea parties, engagements brought a wave of happiness, joy and confidence with them. But today, what do we see? Nothing of these. Even before, celebrating festivals, irrespective of caste, creed and religion, kept the society in perfect balance with harmony. Today, when we talk of socializing, the first thing that comes to our mind is how many people are we in touch with. And mind you, in touch with, I do not mean regularly interacting with. I mean, how many friends do we have on Facebook? That reminds me of an incident that made me think in this direction. A few days back, a friend of mine had posted a status saying she felt left out and lonely. There were like 20 odd likes and comments on that. When I met her later that evening, I had expected to see at least a few people with her, and not much to my surprise, there was no one there. So much for these sites providing us with happiness. These sites create for us a virtual world where we have photos, games and n number of other entertainments. For us, the most capturing features these sites provide are the ease with which we can put up photos and location sharing. But then again, let me remind you, the cases in which these informations are misused is way too much to be neglected. For us, there's something that we may all relate to, if I put forth. We wake up in the morning, the first thing we look for is our cell phone. We go to school, the first thing we do is scroll down our cell phones. We come back home, again, it's the cell phone. What are we checking for? What do we want updated? Think about this. You log out the networking site one day. What do you feel? Disconnected? Probably with an overwhelming urge to log back on as soon as possible. Socializing over the web is nothing wrong, but being ignorant of reality of life is where the problem steps in. I'm sure it's common with all of us. Our pictures we think are good enough only if they have number of likes. Our timeline interesting only when constantly updated. Our tweets, funny enough, are blindly followed. But are these providing us with a peace of mind? Are they actually giving us happiness? I'm sure it provides more of a stress to us if we do not have a number of likes or comments on our status and photos for that matter. Then again, what good are these sites doing to our constantly battling society? Let me bring to notice to all present here a very recent incident that took place in Maharashtra. I'm sure all of us are aware of it. There were two girls who were arrested for a Facebook status against Bal Thackeray, who was the patriarch of Shiv Sena. The post merely said that she did not believe in holding a bun for the funeral of Bal Thackeray, but she would rather see a bun for the patriots of India, Bhagat Singh and Sukhdev for that matter. The post saw an instant reaction. The Shiv Senics vandalized her uncle's clinic. A clinic, may I bring to notice, a clinic where there were patients putting to risk their life and the doctor. And if I see it very clearly, I do not believe how such a reaction that is caused by a post on a social networking site can act as a gateway to happiness or harmony. When we compare a basic means of social networking with the basic means today, I see a very clear demarcation. Today, when we see youngsters in a family function, the only thing we see them doing is scrolling down their cell phones. Earlier, when we used to meet for a marriage, a normal function, or a get-together for that matter, all we could hear was giggles, laughter, and merrymaking everywhere. But now, only thing we hear is beeps and rings of their cell phones. Let me remind you people, happiness is sitting down with your family, listening to your grandparents, spending time with your brothers and sisters. And harmony is to be at peace with yourself and not looking for sympathy over the net. To conclude, all I would like to say is that happiness comes to those who understand the pangs of life, and harmony to those who know how to deal with them. Thank you.
And I would like to speak for the motion with some reasonable points. First of all, it's about communication. Social networking sites have a beneficial effect on our way of life. They enhance our social interactions and make us more way to make social connections. People who have a difficulty in communicating in person are more comfortable interacting through internet, so that social networking sites can let us communicate with our friends even though we are far apart by thousands of miles. For instance, in early time, people spent 2 or 3 more days to deliver a message. As time passed by, we have a telephone, mobile phone, but it costs lots of money, and we all are not able to afford it all the time. But due to the grace of social networking sites, we can communicate with our friends and family as much as we can. In my own experience, I came here in India as a refugee when I was 11. It's been 13 years since I have not seen my mom's face. With help of social networking sites, I can see the happiness from her tears, from her smile, which I feel is the prime source of happiness for me. Recently, since China has stopped or blocked the telephone lines and medias are not allowed to go inside Tibet, and we Tibetan peoples who are living outside, we are not able to get any clear information about the Tibet. But with the help of social networking sites, since 2008, 126 Tibetans have self-immolated. So that social networking sites have led the people of the world to aware about the Tibetan critical issue, just like it's self-immolations. Secondly, it's about its impact on business. 21st century is considered as the commerce. Social networking sites have a great impact on professional alliances, seeking employment, enhancing the business to marketing and financial services. So it has led an era of modernization for the people all over the world. Thirdly, is about the education. I see it in increasing literacy rate. So that today's social networks, people communicate, just like online education. Through these sites, people hold the classes and contribute great things to the society. For example, a project like social media global change. It's happening all around the world. Right now it's happening in my university. Did you know during the Iranian presidential election in the year of 2009, when the government itself clamped down on information exchange, social networking sites like Twitter, Facebook, YouTube has served as the primary source of information exchange. And also recently happened in the year of 2011, Egypt revolution, a latest revolution. Through these sites, they use these sites as the primary medium to dialogue, share their views, and scheduling the protests. And finally, they have destroyed their dictators. And also, when the nation of the Haiti was devastated by the earthquake, dramatic picture has swept the world and it led all the people to influence and also to let their helping hands for the others. Third is about the community healthcare. Over 80 million people of the world are received help with the social networking sites like WebMD and also Yahoo Medical. Through this site, people can consult a doctor online, and also they get appointments, and also they can do a treatment for themselves. And lastly, I would like to say that a famous man once said, "How can you squander even one more day, not taking the advantages of the greatest gift of our generation? How dare you to settle for less, when the world has made it so easy for you to be remarkable?" And also, there's a saying in this modern world that if you are not networking, you are not working. If you are not working, you are not able to fulfill your anxieties. To sum up, I would like to say that life wouldn't be beyond imagination without having these social network sites. Thank you.
Thank you. I now call upon tag A2.
The human habit of confusing convenience with happiness is exactly why the world is an unhappy place today. My heartful greetings to one and all. A modern day father leaving a Facebook message for his son to come downstairs for dinner. A Facebook notification reminding us of our best friend's birthday. Chatting for hours with people and not even being able to greet them when you see them in real life. So what is it that you even find social about something which is actually killing real life interaction? Social networking have degraded our face-to-face networking skills to such an extent that today, in our quest of making networks, and as my intelligent friend said, the affection and attention of strangers all across the globe, we are actually missing and losing on to people who matter the most to us in our own homes. And for those of you who talk about social networking websites being knowledge hubs, please allow me to burst your bubble of imagination, because if you talk about WikiLeaks and Wikipedia and Google, you're forgetting that these are not even social networking websites in the first place. These are merely search engines which stand as a completely different entity and are in no way related to building social networks. I wish you would have Googled that up before you came here. Moving on to the next point of enlightenment, a lot of my friends out here would say that social networking websites have helped businessmen to promote and advertise their products, thereby helping them earn millions of money online. Well, true that. But before counting on to this, do not forget that the same single click has also led to the biggest scams of all time. I mean, take our own case for example. If a software professor from the IIT can be duped of 19 crores online, do you think you and me are qualified enough to dodge these predators? Cyberbullying, fake accounts, frauds, blackmailing. We've all seen plenty of cases where young minds were fooled and lured in by predators. The point I'm trying to make here is that social networking websites have done more worse than good. Not only to humans, but surprisingly to language as well. Thanks to the trend that began with Facebook, teenagers are now seen spelling Y-O-U as you and W-E as we in their 12th board examination papers. And as far as harmony is concerned, I'm sure all of you must have come across innumerable hate pages on Facebook such as "We hate India, we hate Pakistan, we hate Jews, we hate Muslims, we hate cats, we hate dogs, we hate Obama," and the list never ends.
Very surprisingly, these hate pages have thousands of likes over them and can very easily wage wars between people of different ethnicities, thereby proving that social networking websites are a gateway for anti-social elements to spark hatred. I am also surprised and aware at how my mates in the opposition have and will time and again deviate from the statement of today's debate and take it to a completely different question of how can we survive without social networking websites and they should not be banned and things like that. I would like to remind them that I do not stand here to speak against social networking websites or in favor of banning them, but simply against the statement which proclaims them to be the gateway to happiness and harmony. Mates, I do not believe in dramatization of words. I see clear and speak straight. Is our happiness so facile that it depends on something as frivolous as a website? Happiness is listening to your grandmother's stories. Happiness is lying on your mother's lap. Happiness is a day out with your best friends. Happiness is holding your father's hand. Happiness does not lie on a 16 inches of laptop screen, but is in real life interaction. So I would like to conclude by saying that social networking websites are a gateway to just convenience. And it is only sad that some of us have mistaken this human tool of ease and convenience as the gateway to something as big as happiness and harmony. Jai Hind.
From last 2 years, I have been playing office to get myself a voter ID card. But finally, Facebook came up with an idea of register my vote. And so I'm here after exercising my vote last month. Feeling so proud to be a responsible citizen of this country and a part of this world of social networking. A very good morning to respected teachers, honorable judges, worthy opponents, and my dear friends. Social networking sites are a new gateway to happiness and harmony? Yes. My answer is yes, and 1,000 times yes. It is a new gateway to happiness and harmony. With Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and n number of social networking sites, we have come across the world we are living in today, and we are much more aware of it. And it is one of the changes being talked about. To prove my argument right, I will elaborate 5 simple yet practical, optimistic points and facts to make my opponents aware that social networking sites are a new gateway for social reformation in nation and at the same time appreciated by the masses all over the world. My first point, social networking as a tool of well-updated ingredient in today's dynamic era, where its credibility can clearly be contested by this significant happening all over the world. Today, you do not need to sit in front of the television and wait for your favorite news program. Rather, just log into your social networking account and you will find what you were looking for hours. The second strand of the deliberation states that social networking sites provides a fantastic platform for interaction. Well friends, social networking sites has featured interaction on such a massive scale that it is impossible not to notice it. You have a friend list of 1,000 people and there is a way to keep in touch with all the acquaintances and friends with just one click. Friends, people, cities and continents are apart, kept in touch so effortlessly, creating the opportunity to experience different cultures. The third point is the most crucial point I would like to mention. I am talking about political landscapes. Social networking sites have enabled political organization and awareness. Whether we talk about Rahul Gandhi, Narendra Modi or Arvind Kejriwal, social networking sites has played their honest role to discuss, to frame an opinion and to cast our votes wisely. Friends, let me remind you that this is the reason that this time there is a huge number of increment in the participation of youth in elections. 1,000 number of likes and comments itself clear the idea of democracy, and it itself clear that social networking sites are a new gateway to happiness and harmony. The fourth fantastic point, yes, it is the need of the hour. You're guessing it right, it is education and learning. These social networking sites provide a large platform for learning. Children who use this platform develop early communication skills, and it is proven that people who use these social networking sites are able to communicate in a better way than the one who doesn't. Well friends, in the end I would like to conclude that where my opponents are saying that it is not a new gateway to happiness and harmony, I would like to point and ask them, then what is the meaning of happiness and harmony? I would like to conclude by saying that happiness and harmony means the satisfaction and awareness of a consumer. By saying all this, I thereby conclude and prove that happiness and harmony lies with the social networking sites. Thank you and Jai Hind.
All impressed? I'm appalled that this was enough to lure such an intelligent audience. That the shine and glam of social media has deluded all of us into believing that this is the new it thing. Call me an old school girl, but even though social media is really popular, I stand against it. For I believe that what is popular is not always right, and what is right is not always popular. A very good morning to this august gathering. I'm first going to start with happiness. What happiness? The only place where people walk past you in real life but add you as a friend on Facebook, where relationships are perfect, affairs are torrid, and everyone seems to be leading an oh-so lavish life, is in the world of social media. I would like to request all my opponents to please try and request for a loan on their social media accounts. I can assure you, you won't get a single penny. The only help will come from your real friends. Real friends who don't need Facebook to remember your birthday. Since childhood we've been taught that a friend in need is a friend indeed. Then why keep these thousands of friends who can't help us in times of need? It's a pretentious little world, my friends, and the happiness it brings is also fake. Sure, social media can be an aid, but when it occupies the prime of brain and becomes an obsession, it is no different from drug or alcohol addiction. Recently, 200 University of Maryland students were asked to give up social media as a part of a study. When asked how they felt during the brief disconnection, they described feelings of frantic craving, anxiety, and jitters. Can you believe it? The youth of today, the pioneers of tomorrow, addicted and crippled, dysfunctional without being able to log in. What my opponents confuse as happiness is merely this addiction, and we as addicts are confusing this same thing for ecstasy. Facebook, Twitter, Hi5, MySpace, so many social networking sites that I've lost track. Instagram and Pinterest, what's the difference? What's the utility? And quite frankly, what's the point? Did generations before us not know happiness? They just found better and more real ways of doing it. Going out and playing has become passé. Who wants to pick up an actual bat and ball and do some actual moving around when I can just log into Facebook and play Candy Crush all day? We have functioned as a society for hundreds of years with nothing more to communicate besides a pen and paper. Is social media easier? Definitely. But is it beneficial? Absolutely not. Not when you can be doing so much more in your spare time instead of staring at a computer screen. And what harmony? We have lesser and lesser one-on-one interactions. We are becoming less talkative and more typative. For we believe in convenience, and this is so much more convenient. Because we are from the lazy generation. From the idiot box to the idiotic web, we have covered the journey in glory. Another major issue with social media is cyberbullying, which is the use of information technology to harm or harass people in a deliberate, repeated, and hostile manner. Tell me, ladies and gentlemen, how many kids are committing suicide because of cyberbullying? How many lives and innocent minds are being destroyed by just one wrong click?
How many more Sunanda Pushkars do we need in our society before we open our eyes and realize that social media is not the answer, but the root to a lot of problems? If my opponents were right, why would educational institutions all over the country ban the use of social media on campus? One simple reason. Social media is synonymous with distraction. I repeat, distraction and not harmony or happiness. Social media is merely a tool for narcissists, where the greatest accomplishment or trophy of success is receiving 500 plus likes. Congratulations again to all of us for becoming the first generation ever to grow up online instead of in fields or playgrounds. To conclude, I would like to quote Albert Einstein, who once said, "The day that technology will surpass our human interaction, we will have a generation of idiots." I urge you, let's not become that generation. Let's not let social media substitute personal communication, because it is meant only to supplement it. So next time you don't have Wi-Fi or internet access, talk to each other. Call up your mom, pretend it's 1993 and go out in the sun. But please take a step back from this fake world of pretense and live. Actually live.
Everyone else, just look for work. Good morning, everyone. I'm here to present my views on the topic, social networking sites are the new gateway to happiness and harmony. And I'll be presenting my views for the motion. First of all, what is a social networking site? It's an online service or platform that facilitates the generation of social networks or social relation among different people who share interests, ideas, events, etc. These are the new way to interact with people and stay in touch with the world. Think about what people are doing on Facebook these days. Obviously, they're keeping up with the family and friends, but they're also building an image and identity for themselves, which in a sense is their own brand. So it's a very big disadvantage if you are not on any social networking site. And here a big question rises. How can you even waste one more day not taking the advantage of the greatest gift of our generation? How dare you settle for anything less when the world is giving you an ample opportunity to easily interact and share your experiences with different kinds of people on a global level? And now I'm dead sure that this question has put some serious, very serious questions in your mind. And you know why? Because these sites have become an enormous part of our lives. They can no longer be avoided. These sites can turn us into a self-therapy classes because they invite people constantly to share their thoughts, to share their experiences, confess their wrongdoings and highlight their achievements, which it's like keeping a diary, which is more public, frequent and up to date. These sites are the tools for self-reflection. Throughout the day, when a person is thinking about how to portray an event on Facebook or Twitter, what he's actually doing, he's thinking about his past actions and he's comparing those actions to what is expected from him. These sites, friends, these sites have brought our hearts together. It is all about being open, being connected, being supportive and being yourself. These sites have made the world a smaller place to live in. Apart from all these things, there are many advantages of social networking sites, and which I'm going to tell you a few of them. 1. Staying in touch with family. Individuals can share their day-to-day experiences on social networking sites in a more public but secure forum, and their family. They can watch and learn those experiences instead of weekly phone calls. 2. Staying informed about the world. People who have specific interest share those stories on Facebook or Twitter or any other social networking site, and other people who just want to stay informed read them and post them and share them as well. Eventually, all this information leads to those users who may have never heard about them or ever read about them. And at the end of it all, I would love to present a fact in front of you. Our time is being stretched thinner and thinner because of our work and family commitments. So here, the social networking sites comes to our rescue by giving us the ability to communicate with our loved ones effectively and efficiently. Trust me, I will tell you a story. Like my father used to be a person who was against social networking sites.
And now, today, he comes to me and asks me about the latest updates or information in his account, which I created for him on his instances. But because time changes, people change, world change, and the way you believe, the way you express your feelings also changes. I, myself being an active user of social networking sites, I've made many friends and have got many opportunities to interact with different kinds of people on a global level. And trust me, I have gained much more confidence to interact with you all. And at the end of the day, people may raise hundreds of criticisms or disadvantage of social networking sites. But everybody here knows, although they may not agree to it, that there are lakhs of plus points of these sites too. And it's up to you to take the best. So, still strongly supporting the motion, I had like to say that social networking sites are indeed a gateway to happiness and harmony. Thank you.
Thank you. I am standing before you to speak in against of this topic. Social networking sites are the new gateway to happiness and harmony. First of all, I want to define what is social networking sites. In a simple way, social networking sites are the way of expanding number of people. By knowing your friends, their friends, and so on. Some example of social networking sites are Facebook, Twitter, MySpace.com, Classmates.com, etc. I can say it is like a virtual community through which we are connecting day by day. Not we are, in whole world we are connecting to each other. Now about 16 crore and more than internet users are there in India, in which 8.5 crores are mobile internet user, in which 85% are college students. What is this? In which direction we are going? We are talking about development of our country. How can we talk? By using this social networking site. Because as I already told you that I am in against, that's why I want to explain some of its negative impacts. Such as, first of all, our privacy is diminishing day by day. According to 2010, Northeastern University and Planck Institute of Software Engineer researcher developed an algorithm through which they can discover personal attributes by using any public information, like your friend list, even though there are so many privacy settings are there. But we can't do anything. Why? Because students get addicted to it. They have no time to spend with their parents, peers, etc. Even they get engaged in some other activities also, like smoking, drinking. They get some mental and physical hazards also. I want to give an example. In 2006, 2 men were arrested in 2 different incidents with 2 minors, in which one minor was of 14-year-old and other was of 11. What is this? This is positive impact? No, this is negative. As my opponent colleagues already said that we have to neglect this impact. How can we neglect? Can you neglect? No, because most of the population are using, in which we are day by day increasing these uses. Now, other than this, other negative impact is this: face-to-face interaction are getting endangered. Twins and teens are at higher risk. Why? Because they have no time, I already told you. And according to our National School Board Association, 41% of their time they are spending in posting messages only. Why? Because they have no time, and they are, I can say, their academic performance also get reduced due to these social networking sites. And other impact is that we are getting isolated. In a large sense, it seems that we are connecting with each other on a same platform. But in a large sense, it is not true. According to a BBC News, we are isolating from each other. Now, if we come, according to eMarketer, these social networking sites earn about $16 million or even more in a year. One side we are saying that these services are free. If these services are free, then how and from where they are earning such lumps of money? Answer is this: you are the product for them. We are the product for them. They are using us for them. Facebook alone earned about $1.6 million in first half of the 2011, and in other half it earned about $3 million and more
This is the negative impact, and we can say we are exposing our children or us to the online predators. Some racy pictures and thought out comments are also cause irreparable harms to any individual's reputation. What can we do? Nothing. We can't do anything because we have no option. I know everyone has two aspects, but in my views, social networking sites have more negative impact than its positive. So I want to give some ways by which we can decrease its negative impact. We have to make aware our children or make aware ourselves to each and every aspect of these social networking sites. Do not allow strangers into your network. That we can reduce. Because I know we can't completely ban on this networking sites. Due to the increasing population and due to the increasing use of these social networking sites. At last, if we comes to happiness and harmony, if we talk about it, I don't think happiness and harmony depends much more. It depends on us. It's depends in yourself way of thinking. So please change your thinking. At last, I want to say only few words about it. Watch your action, they become your habit. Watch your habit, they become your character. Watch your character, they becomes you. And you are an important part of this universe. Thanks, have a nice day.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Before I begin, I would like to enlist some major problems which the world is facing today. Terrorism, corruption, rape, unemployment, poverty. So many serious problems, and we are concerned about social networking sites. Seriously? Is that what you call a threat? I mean, which one do you think is a greater threat? A terrorist holding a gun in front of you, or somebody hacking your Facebook account? I don't understand why are we making it such a big issue. You see, it was always a fantasy, no? A dream of us to have something like social networking in our lives. And now that our dream has come true, we are debating. We are debating here to go back to Stone Ages. Isn't it funny how humans never value what they actually have? Remember those hard times when you had to pay for those expensive but poor telephone services. You had to wait for like 2 hours for one STD call. And even after such a long wait, all you could say to your people was, I cannot hear you. Back then, sending a message was like winning a battle. But now, bam, social networking. Within seconds you're connected to the world. And it does not matter who you are, rich or poor, white or black, Hindu or Muslim. It does not matter where you are. You have a platform where your voice can be heard. A platform where even introverts express themselves. A platform where we all stand united and connected. All of us remember the recent Section 377 by Supreme Court, which denies LGBT communities basic human right to love. In this hard time, when everybody, including the legislative and judicial system of our country, had given up on them, it is this very social media which is supporting them, uniting them. This very social media which my opponents are deeming as a threat is helping them. Not to mention the time when Anna needed us for his Jan Lokpal bill, when Nirbhaya needed our support. Those were the times when social networking got us united. Because youth spends more time on social networking than on any news channel. Now I ask you, isn't it a gateway to awareness? To harmony? Isn't it a bliss? My opponents say that it is not a bliss. In fact, they say it is an affliction. Well, in that case, I would like to ask one simple question to them. If social networking sites are not good enough, then what is? They say it has flaws. Well, then give me one substitute which is flawless. Do you know what the problem is? Is that these critics will always find faults rather than improvising. They will tell you about cybercrimes, but they will not tell you about the cases which have been solved by the help of social networking. They will not tell you about the families which have been reunited by the help of social networking. Of course, they will tell you about cyberbullies, but they will not tell you about people like Dr. Devi Shetty, Nick Vujicic, who are doing good to humanity through social networking. And what do you expect us to do in this 21st century? Write letters and send it through pigeons? Ask yourself, does Facebook not make you happy? I remember the time when I was a kid, when my teacher used to give me a good for my homework. But now that I have grown up, she's not there with me. But I still get appreciation through likes. I still get feedbacks through comments. You see, gentlemen, if I enlisted all the benefits of social networking, I would probably go on and on. But I am not here to bludgeon you with my beliefs. I am not here to impose a lifestyle on you. I am here to show you the bright side of social networking. Because gentlemen, nothing in this world is good or bad. It is the way you look at it. You've seen a knife? A knife which is used to cut vegetables can also be used to kill a man. So you'll stop using knives. You see, change your vantage point. Change your vision. This society is changing and it requires you to change your vision accordingly. If you keep on finding faults with everything, you'll never find your gateway to happiness. Never. But if you discount the bad, you'll see a gateway to heaven in social networking, I assure you. Thank you.
Which is the social networking sites are the new gateway to happiness and harmony. Friends, it's amazing to live and experience any moment of any era. Ours is a web-dominated world. We live in a world of digital striptease where pervasive technologies that surround us have forever blurred lines between what is real and what is virtual. It wasn't long ago when we were talking about how much television kids should watch, and then came a drug named social networking site whose madness and addiction has crossed all its limits. Man has created a vast world of prosperity. Simultaneously, he has also created a vicious circle of disparity. He is engulfed in his own creations. He tried to become more and more peaceful and happy with the launch of various sites, but unluckily these have discarded him and has made him an epitome of adversaries. He suffers to get internal contentment. He has soaked his internal respect. Every time yearning for some new and new, he suffers to explore and explore, but nothing essential has been attained by him. It is the desire to become popular. It is the desire to get public attention that has made him sluggish, gloomy, beggar, and in my opinion, these sites are nothing but baits in different varieties. This has made people self-centered, lethargic. Gone are the days when people used to meet. Gone are the days when children used to play. Because all these is replaced by social networking. It is only the thirst of self-involvement that has overpowered everything. One of my friends said that man is a social animal, but today he is a social networking animal. Yes, of course, because it is only social networking sites that we are curbing our sense of creativity. It is only because of these sites that kids are no more kids now. It is only because of these sites that social gathering is being replaced by social networking, and it is only because of these sites that we are destroying our social life with our own hands. Somebody talked about revolutions. So friends, it also creates baseless rumors which has no authentication. Somebody talked about education and learning. So will you tell me, will you stop going to the colleges, or will you stop going to the schools just because you are getting virtual learning in your home and in your room? Your life is confined to the PC, or your life is confined to the smartphone that lies in your pocket. My worthy opponents who seems to be strongly advocating the view, I'd like to ask them, are you aware about how many cyber crimes have taken place because of this? Are you aware about how many divorce cases have been filed just because of Facebook? Are you aware about the recent Twitter drama that took place between Sunanda Pushkar and Shashi Tharoor and finally ended up taking her precious life? In fact, Sunanda Pushkar herself admitted that if my husband Shashi Tharoor is given to choose between Twitter and me, he would choose Twitter. This is the extent. This is each and every section, age, race, class. Everything is untouched by it. In the end, I'd like to wind up putting up a question open to the house that it entices you, it makes you angry, it creates baseless rumors, it makes you sluggish, then in what manner it is contributing to happiness and harmony, and in what manner it is a social networking site which has no socialization. Thank you.
Thank you. Yatayat Hamir. It's a revolution which has took place. A gift of social networking site. Good morning, everyone, my dear friends, my dear worthy opponents. I stand here with the motion that why social networking site has turned out to be a boon. I would have really loved if my fellow mates had actually checked the true meaning of social networking site. They would have checked how many social networking sites actually exist. It's not just about Facebook, it's not just about Twitter, it is not just about, there are around 48 big sites which are running on social basis. And this is not just for, it is creating a balance between, it is actually leading to a globalization process. And I'll tell you how it is actually leading to a globalization process. Social networking site is killing the disability of the disabled. There are sites like Wellwaver. What is it doing it? It is creating a spot for all the disabled people to come and interact with each other. This is the site where people are coming with their thoughts, their motivational success, where disabled, I would not call them disabled, they are the special people who are actually sharing their thoughts, their work process. So do you really think that is it a boon? Is it a boon or a bane? I would also like to point out my worthy opponents who came with the relevance of social networking site. I have some points I would like to really question up. It is the educational performance which is being increased by social networking sites. There are sites like Goodreads. There are sites like Goodreads and Literature which is turning out to be a place for all the artisans and all the poets, all the musicians to come up with the points and actually, boom up in a sense. They come and they express their thoughts. This has turned out to be a platform. This has turned out to be a place where people can actually express their opinions. It has led to an Egyptian revolution, which is a big revolution. And still my worthy opponents are talking about birthday wishes and other things. Do you really think that social media is only concerned with Facebook Facebook and wishing birthdays? Social networking sites is also about, it's also increasing the senior, it is helping the senior citizenship to actually take a draft from increased demographic sessions. There's a big boom in the demographic sessions of senior citizens participating in social major problem. But don't you think this is the only place where a father can see his son, where a father can actually feel the real happiness, and my worthy help of social networking site. So don't you think that is a real happiness which we are talking about? We are also helping in prosecuting crimes. Facebook, our NYPD has joined Twitter track for actually prosecuting the criminals who are bragging about the crimes. WHO and Boston has actually came up with information that has spread it around the world. They've come up with the stigma of reducing down the information of what they say is of disabilities, and you will wonder that actually 4,000 people have actually participated in H1N1 vaccination because of WHO and Boston combined effort. It is also lead to women empowerment. African women, they share a site called Zubato, where they actually talk about the disparities which are occurring between the disparities and the social issues. So don't you think this is a boon? I totally support and agree that social networking sites have actually, it's a blessing where it is uniting the entire world. Thank you so much.
Thank you.